Hey everybody, Everett's live music coming to you today on the second day of October. Just coming out of a weekend, thinking about some stuff, and we passed that 9/11 mark a little while ago, and then yesterday was like October 1st for here in Vegas with the mass shootings and stuff. We had the 58 shot down or something. So I would say to like these days and those days that come and go, what we can't do is let the fear beat us. So, yesterday took the kid and we bicycled down to a big car show, a couple hundred cars. I think it was well over 100 at least. Quite a few cars, around a park. Got a DJ, some kids running around, go to an event or something like that. I took the guitar down, I play some songs and stuff. But that kind of fear stuff that controls us, I like to just stand for hopefully a better tomorrow. It'll always be that lying, cheating, and stealing and all that stuff that brings us to these days at times, moments in our life and stuff. And what are we going to do? How do you best describe what we've done with ourselves as a people? I ask sometimes, what have you done to us? Because after a while, now you're scared. Now we've lost a lot of liberties and, privacy in different manner and different things. And then the gun control comes to the table all the time. Child was asking about that the other day, and I would say on gun control. Well, when they made the amendment, they intended for people to be able to have the weapons that the enemies might have. So I don't know how far it goes. I really don't. I'm not a weapons person. We don't have a bunch of guns or anything. We don't have, nothing. But on the subject matter, I'm just like, well, it's an amendment, it's not an amendment. It's in the Constitution. So, it's part of our, not an amendment. So it's in the Constitution as one of our rights, a Bill of Rights. And let's see, that was John Adams, right? Right, and Tom Jefferson, he did the Declaration of Independence, but then John Adams came up with that Bill of Rights, the right for free speech and all of that, right to religion, all that stuff should be followed. But how far do we take it? I don't know the answers to all these questions. I just know we live in a day and age where there's going to be a whole lot of lying and cheating and stealing, and it's like a way of life almost. And if you're somebody that's not doing it, you're kind of like the weirdo at times. I've had that actually happen to me, and I'm not perfect. I'm really not. I've taken things in my life that haven't been mine, and I have lied before. But I try not to, hardly like at all, man. And I've said to so many people, like, you know why it's not fair? It's because we don't want it to be fair as a people. And then when everything goes wrong, maybe some people are happy it's going wrong and they see life like I imagine some of our... It's not the politicians see it that way, but I'm having a hard time not believing someone on the upper echelon of this giant pyramid of financial gain has seen life as like with problems comes opportunity for so many to exploit the problem, right, that's happening, and then make that a bigger problem than it ever was. It leaves a lot of opportunity for that because we're constantly struggling to get the upper hand, whether it be money or power and whatever we need to use for those, and whatever we need to compromise the truth for. It's almost like a way of life now. So that's kind of frustrating. And it doesn't directly relate, but like the mass shooting that happened, I think I mentioned it before, they said it was because of money, or like he was gambling, this guy that killed a bunch of people, and they say it was because the casino wasn't treating, well, we put the casinos there, and it's like putting a big, it's like legalizing a form of addiction, and like many things, but that one's kind of dangerous. I don't believe that was all there was to it, but hey, man, I guess that's one way to really get back. But man, the innocent people that have to pay the price, that's the hardest part, man. So yesterday, I mean, I would like to get some hits back, and we could go round and around with this conversation. But yesterday, to go out and stand out there and take the guitar, and play away and buy a little food and listen to some a DJ play some oldies and stuff, and then play along to it, and then play some of my own music off in a corner, is our best way to honor those. It's like so many of the innocent that I've mentioned through the last months, because that's who I honor the most. And I'm looking for answers from the upper echelon on what your plan is, man. And how much of this will you continue to, like, it's not like they allow it, we do it as a people. So what are we going to allow? And how much of the system are we going to use to bend to our will at times? For some it's easier than others, but those days, man, definitely get out there and party it up a little bit and say, hey, man, I'm not going to just be afraid. I really am like there with that. And then like just imagine, dude, look at all the tutorials. I've mentioned tutorials before, and like how it's so important we should be talking. I caught a comic skit the other day, and it's talking what's the difference between like Austrians and Germans, right? And the guy's like, I think he's from Austria, and he says Germans are like a battleship. They just come right at you with it. And then Austrians, they're kind of like, pretty happy, and they're going to be kind and everything, but they don't mean it. What happened to us as a people where the truth, wasn't good enough? Like, we don't, and you shouldn't have to give your word. I don't think, personally, man. Like, hardly ever. It's not something you give every day. I'll give you my word, I'll be there. Like, come on, man. You shouldn't even ask for it. Under the most, common circumstances, and even when the moments are stressed, or you're desiring the appearance of someone to make an appointment, you don't ask for their word. You ask them, and they tell you they'll try and make it, But however that works out, I like to like push on that stuff a little bit, and then seeing like a pop up, and I don't read the thing, but like people telling us, like in some of the on the YouTube channel and stuff, how to better protect yourself in a conversation and stuff, which is to me disturbing to some degree or another, because I guess that is that what we are? Someone that wants to control a conversation, and don't share your ideas, because don't tell your friends what you're going to do. What if they take your ideas from you? What if people take your music from you and stuff? We live in this world of fear, dude. And it hurts us so bad. So we need not look further than ourselves quite often, I don't think. And I don't exactly know how we get this going in a better direction, but we would expect, I would think, a lot less of one another at times, and then a lot more of the truth, instead of somebody just being so kind and friendly, and that same person in the it's like a comic, a night show or talk or something, right? But then he goes on to explain, well, it's kind of like Irish people, right? And then English. So the Irish, I guess, they pretend to be real kind. But, a lot of the time that's something you're going to have to learn coming up unless you've been raised. A lot of us get hurt. Some of us get hurt. Even if you know it's going to happen, they just do it to you because it's a society that we've built, to a degree. It's not that it's all fixed. It's that it's really easy at times with numbers on your side, meaning people, and enough people willing to support certain things that are not true, and then also, say in a courtroom or something, it's influenced one way or another by the direction that the court is running it, as well as the attorneys. So be careful out there in that stuff, and then never stop going to events, and never stop asking questions, and never stop trying to find a way, I think, to get to a more mellow way of life, where truth is really like, maybe it's better. Instead, I think to one degree or another, we're kind of like a society at times that's like, why should I have to watch out for so many that are ill-advised and uneducated? Okay, now that might be one thing to say, but are you just going to take advantage of these people and get the better of them at times? I mean, I've been notorious for offering answers to people that probably in conversations, was it this or that? Because I don't know. And they're like, I'm not there to trap you. I don't understand that portion of us to be, I got you, or, But there is a piece of us that's like that. And does all of that lead to the terrible days and some of the terrible acts that happen in our days, like on October 1st, So I went out there and played. I look for answers in this stuff is what I do. And I dare to ask questions, try. And we're moving through to the Indigenous Day coming up, and I mentioned that a little while ago, but I don't understand that. And the tutorials on how to speak and how to get the better of somebody in a conversation, it's almost like so much as a competition. Why? And as we struggle and fight for those who's right and stuff, what's happening is the computers are coming through, and they're not going to lie, is what they're telling us. I think sometimes some stuff gets misprinted or something, or I don't know. I do worry about that slightly, that on the other side of the computer would be someone that could influence it. For me, I've been tried to be hacked a couple times recently. I don't know why. I'm very poor. I'm just a general contractor that doesn't make much money every year. Single father. And so, kind of weird. I wonder why it's like that. I've asked that question before. Why do we know all that security and stuff? Why is it not secure to start? How do they get their feet in the door to hurt us to begin with, right? Because we have to leave the door open to one degree or another because it creates more business, right? We need the people to protect now, and then we'll offer you something else. Now you're going to have to buy protection, and I think it's that part of life that we've developed. And then when things go sideways, like big shootings and mass deaths and all these weird things, we're like, oh no, take all the guns away and do all these. But the real source of it, I'm thinking, is like, at the end of it all is always going to be money. And then that desire for I don't know what, like to be right, or to get even, or to show that you can't be pushed around. I want to see you show me your tough face. Show me your war face, and different things. And don't let people, because sometimes we've tried not to let people push us around in life, but life actually gets to do it to us. You just keep going. What else can we do? But we talk. I hope talk, speak. I don't know why those I'm weirded out sometimes, not totally, but I understand that's just how life is. I've always been fortunate, I think, as like a speaker and talk. And sometimes I'm, not winning, I guess, on the level of what many perceive to be the situation at hand. Oh, looks like you lost or something. And you're like, no, I said my piece. I told the truth, the best I could. I told my story, And it's just unfortunate when it goes a different direction. For a lot of us, a lot of unanswered questions come and go in life and stuff, so. But those tutorials, man, trying to get, I'll show you a way that you'll never lose in the next argument. I never argue, I keep my mouth shut. All these things, but dude, all that separates us as a people. And it allows more for technology to take over and those that have created the technology to be in charge. So I just see that as being like, what's the end result? I don't get any support. This is kind of, I don't know if it's totally sad, but at least I'm telling a bit of my story, thoughts and feelings. If this is taken from me and somebody else gets to use it, I don't know what to say to that. But I hope you're, if you ever catch on to the channel, start back in March. Run through the year with me, man. It's just sharing and talking and looking to open up some doors and knock on some doors and look at some angles of life that have, while there's still time, so we're not so congested and so like only the best are going to make it. Why? Like, and maybe you say I'm wrong. Go ahead. But I think already so many species, plants and aquatic and on land animals and anything, so much of it is being compromised every day. So, I mean, that's, to me, like, that's not even a conversation that needs to be argued. They showed the clip the other day, 100 dolphins die. Maybe it's happened before the river gets that hot. I don't know. But trying to reach out, man. Throw something back. Like it. Don't like it. I don't care. Something. Peace. Be good to each other, man, and like stop. Try. I mean, are we afraid that it'll be so boring? Life would be so boring? Sometimes I wonder that. Because when I tell life isn't fair, you'll get somebody that says that. Because probably because they've been making a good part of their life off the misfortune of others and taking advantage of people at times, It's what we've been doing for a long time, so. And it's not all so terrible, but it's enough that maybe, it tears at the threads. Thread at a time, and, but see what you think, man. Come on. Throw something back. Quit being scared. Let's hear what you got to say. Start back on World Wildlife Day and follow through on this. I'll throw some music out there after today, but get out there and show up, and we won't be made to feel afraid, And it's those that that lost their lives senselessly to so many different acts, We're like, no, man, they want to see healthy change. Talk, step up, speak. And when it's not yours, give it back. Or, share. I heard like Neil deGrasse the other day, I check on some of that stuff once in a while. I guess there's some of the scientists and stuff. But like him, even in one of his messages, and I'll mention this quite often too, we need not just one person out there. There's so many of us. And we need to connect, man. And share and talk and want and desire and know that we're not all right. And at times, even in our conversations, like him saying the dinosaurs weren't around during the Bible days in one of his conversations, right? Well, on Noah's Ark, I think he was saying. There was no dinosaurs. Yeah, I don't think we actually had like Fred Flintstone days ever neither. I'd agree. But there's alligator snapping turtles, there's crocodiles, there's a couple other things, man, that I think might have made it. Or at least a subspecies of that species, that made it. So an argument that probably wouldn't need to be had in my mind, but if that's the kind of person you are and you looked for that, then there it would be, But I would rather not. I would rather like align with a conversation like that and try to find the solutions. Like I'm reaching out, man. Late. Peace.